Once upon a time, in a verdant kingdom, with vast meadows of wild flowers and rivers sparkling under the golden sun, there ruled a king and queen with hearts full of kindness. They cherished their subjects like their own children, hosting charitable feasts where bread was shared with the poor, and the royal gardens were always open to wandering children. Yet their hearts were heavy with the longing for an heir, not for power, but to share that love with a child.
Did you hear the news? The Queen is finally with child!
By the saints, truly, that is wonderful!
It is about time!
One gentle spring morning, the Queen gave birth to a beautiful princess. The king, eyes brimming with joy, cradled her and whispered, "She will be our dawn. We will protect her with all our love." The Queen smiled, stroking the child's cheek. "Yes, my love. Aurora, that will be her name." The entire kingdom rejoiced, fireworks bursting across the sky, as if the sun itself had smiled at their happiness. To celebrate Princess Aurora's birth and bestow blessings upon their beloved child, the king organized a grand yet warm feast in the royal hall, inviting all the fairies from distant lands. He also sent invitations to the kings of neighboring realms, old friends and steadfast allies, and most importantly, the common folk were all invited, from simple farmers to skilled artisans, wandering children to elders, to share in the joy with the royals, turning the feast into a grand festival for the whole kingdom. The hall overflowed with ripe fruits from the villagers' vineyards, fragrant pastries baked by the deft hands of housewives, and sweet wine poured generously for all. Dulcet music from folk musicians echoed through the air, children ran and laughed, and the visiting kings raised their glasses with warm smiles. The common folk crowded around the tables, an elderly farmwife whispering to her grandchild, "Look, child, that little princess will bring luck to us all," while the 12 fairies fluttered around Aurora's cradle, their wings glistening like morning dew, bestowing blessings with radiant smiles. The first 11 fairies took turns waving their wands, each gift a spark of enchantment.
I bless you, little Aurora, beauty as gentle as the dawn. I bless you, dear Aurora, with a voice as sweet as the morning birds. Aurora, wisdom as deep as the forest. Aurora, courage that flows like rivers.
The hall glowed with the light of these magics, drawing applause from the crowd, nods of approval from the visiting kings, and awed whispers from the folk. But suddenly, a howling wind rose from the castle's cracks, carrying a chill and an air of unease. The grand doors burst open, and a dark shadow entered Maleficent. Maleficent wore a drab gray cloak of raven feathers, her green eyes deep with profound loneliness, her staff trembling in her grasp.
Have you forgotten me, O merciful king?
The visiting kings gripped their swords but held steady. The folk murmured in worry, and the other fairies fluttered back. The king rose, his face shocked, but filled with compassion. "Maleficent, we did not know. Please forgive us. Stay and share in this joy. My fellow kings and my people welcome you as part of this great day." The queen clutched the cradle tightly, her voice trembling yet resolute. "Maleficent, please stay. We did not mean to overlook you. Let our love touch your heart. Aurora is a light for all, including you." Maleficent paused, her eyes flashing fiercely, her voice breaking into bitter laughter. "Listen! Too late! Now I shall share my pain." She thrust her staff forward, swirling shadows billowing like mist, enveloping Aurora's cradle, causing the visiting kings to rise in defense, the folk to recoil in horror, and children's cries to echo, "I curse this child." On her 16th birthday, Aurora shall prick her finger on a weaving needle, the relic of destiny, and her blood shall flow. Her heart shall cease in gentle agony. She shall die, and this kingdom shall sink into eternal shadow, where hope withers like autumn leaves." Sobs echoed through the hall. The queen collapsed, cradling Aurora and weeping. The king lunged forward, but Maleficent raised her staff, forming a barrier of darkness. The fairies fluttered upward in terror. Merryweather hastily waved her wand, its light blazing, her voice quivering. "No, your curse is too cruel. She shall not die. She shall fall into a deep sleep, like the peaceful dreams of a child. She shall awaken only with the kiss of the true prince, the one with a merciful heart and brave soul, who has learned to forgive the shadows." The king knelt to hold his wife, his voice resolute through tears. "Leah, we will not let this happen. We will protect her at all costs. Send envoys everywhere to seek Maleficent. And gather all the weaving needles. No curse shall touch our Aurora." As she matured, Aurora learned songs from her mother in the library, rode horses across meadows with her father, and played with village children. She helped them read, hosted charity tea parties, and sang tunes that brought smiles to all. On her 16th birthday, the castle brimmed with fresh flowers and laughter. The feast bustled with a giant cake and live music from villagers. Aurora, now a beautiful young woman with golden hair and sky-blue eyes, wore a resplendent white gown, receiving gifts from all. The king raised his glass, voice warm, "To Aurora, our light, today you become a lady." Aurora hugged her parents, beaming, "Thank you, Mama and Papa. I love everything here." But she felt a strange pull like destiny's call. She slipped into the forbidden chamber in the basement, where her parents hid the last weaving needles to safeguard her. On the table, a small, glittering weaving needle appeared, sent by Maleficent's wind magic, like a ghostly birthday gift. Aurora approached, voice curious. "What is this? So beautiful, like a lullaby from childhood memories. Mama once spoke of weaving needles." She pricked her finger on the weaving needle. Blood dripped slowly crimson. A gentle sting of pain rose. She smiled sadly, whispering, "A sleep so peaceful." The entire castle fell into peaceful slumber. The king dreamed of summer days with his daughter. The queen murmured lullabies even in sleep. Courtiers and friends dozed on sofas. Vines and trees grew thick around the walls, not thorny but soft as wildflower thickets, transforming the place into the enchanted forest, a lush maze where time stood still, awaiting a miracle. The three fairies, wings glistening like morning sun, shrank and flew into the world. They wandered deserts, snowy mountains, bustling cities, seeking the prince with a merciful heart and brave soul. They met cheerful but impatient youths, strong but lonely warriors. Merryweather giggled at a lazy youth, devouring food in a tavern. "Ah, he only knows how to eat. His heart is warm, but where's the courage?" Fauna shook her head at a dozing warrior by the campfire. "And he sleeps more than Aurora. We need someone more awake." They overlooked the young man growing up in the neighboring kingdom, Prince Erebus, son of a merciful lineage that inherited the throne through peace. Erebus was strong yet gentle, his smile chasing away clouds. He helped villagers build a bridge over the river, laughing, "No worries, we'll do it together. A sturdy bridge will connect our hopes." His father, King Hubert, advised, "My son, the enchanted forest. It's mysterious, but perhaps holds a lesson. Go, but carry your merciful heart." Erebus nodded, embracing his father. "I won't conquer with a sword, but with understanding." Erebus led his friends into the forest, not to battle but to explore. They soothed wild beasts, giant deer and eagles with songs, making them bow in welcome. By the campfire, Erebus shared with his young wizard friend Thorin, "My mother died of illness. I always wonder, why does darkness come to the good?" Thorin clapped his shoulder. "That's why we're here, to bring light into the shadows." They ventured deep into the misty cave, where glowworms twinkled and dripping water whispered. There, They found Maleficent, now a lost soul, sitting alone with her staff, eyes red from tears. "Have you come to kill me? Or to pity?" Maleficent's voice was hoarse, unmoving. "I'm no longer an evil fairy, just a wandering spirit. My daughter, stolen by a similar curse, I cursed Aurora because I envied your happiness." Erebus knelt, voice sincere, sword undrawn. "Not to kill, madam. I heard your tale from the forest winds. Tell me of that pain. Perhaps forgiveness can heal." Maleficent recounted her past, voice breaking. "I once held my daughter under the moon, singing lullabies. Then the storm came, taking it all. I've been alone for years." He swung gently, cutting invisible bonds. White light spread. Maleficent shuddered, smiling for the first time. "Thank you. Tell Aurora I'm sorry." And a belated blessing. "Her love shall be eternal light." She faded into gentle radiance. The fairies, watching from the bushes, exclaimed, "Oh heavens, we've been so blind! That young man is the prince, perfectly merciful heart," Flora whispered. Erebus ventured alone to the forest's heart. Wildflowers bloomed at his feet. Vines whispered welcomes like old friends. Stone statues smiled faintly, leaves falling like confetti. He climbed the tallest tower, the door creaking open. Inside, Aurora lay in peaceful sleep on the bed, beautiful as a spring dream, her white gown dustless, golden hair fanned like a halo. Moonlight streamed through the broken window. Erebus approached, heart pounding, whispering emotionally, "You, beautiful as a spring dream, you are the light of shadows, aren't you? I've crossed the forest to find, to understand." He leaned down, hesitating a moment, then kissed gentle, sweet, lingering like a promise of hope. Light bloomed from the kiss, like tiny fireworks. Aurora's eyes fluttered open, blue and sparkling with surprise, then a smile. She sat up, touching his cheek. "You awoke me from that long dream. I dreamed of the forest, of shadows, and a boy bringing light. Who are you?" Erebus smiled, kneeling. "Erebus, from the neighboring kingdom. I came for destiny, and because my heart told me so. The curse is broken, princess." The castle awoke. Laughter spread. Flowers bloomed everywhere. Winds carried sweet scents. The king and queen rushed to the tower, embracing Aurora in tears. "My daughter, we feared we'd lost you," the queen whispered, holding tight. The king hugged Erebus like a son. "Young man, you've brought a great miracle." A year later, Aurora and Erebus ascended the throne together, in white gold robes, hand in hand before the cheering kingdom. The enchanted forest became the garden of hope, open to all children played among the ever-blooming wildflowers. Aurora whispered to Erebus, "Together, we'll bring light to every shadow." And so they lived happily ever after, in a kingdom where shadows were but part of the journey to eternal light.